So what is up, guys? This is Nick here from Everything Tech, and welcome to this episode on should you upgrade from the Samsung Galaxy S5 to the Samsung Galaxy S7. Now, if you're one of those people that are like, I gotta have the latest and greatest thing, I don't care what you say, or blah blah blah, or this is clickbait, then you can leave right now, or you can stay. You're welcome either way. But basically what we're here to do today is talk about the things that they're not going to tell you in store. So if you go to a Best Buy or an AT&T or a T-Mobile or whatever carrier you have, wherever you may be, I know you're not all here in the US, then we're here to tell you stuff they're not going to tell you there. So I have a Samsung Galaxy S5 and I've had all kinds of Samsung Galaxies all the way dating back to the Samsung Galaxy S1. I don't even know if they called it the Samsung Galaxy S1, but I had the Mesmerize. I think it was I don't know what, US Cellular or something like that, similar to the Fascinate from Verizon. And basically, should you upgrade from the S5 to the S7? Well, if you're a person who needs to have the latest and greatest thing on the market and doesn't mind dropping $700 to $1,000 for it, then go for it. Yeah, of course you should have it. I mean, it's something you value, having the latest and greatest thing. If you're a flashy kind of person, got a flash to all golds S7 Edge, then of course go ahead and upgrade. But for people who are kind of more value conscious, and if you're not like this, then this video is probably not for you. But for people who are more value conscious, like myself, I like to find the product that's going to serve me, my needs, more say than just having the product and then getting it and being like, why did I just drop my $1,000 on this? And that's what I want to talk about. And I'm not talking from a blind perspective. I actually went into Best Buy and one of my friends has the Samsung Galaxy S7 on hand. So it's not like I don't know anything about the S7. I actually watched the event, went to the store, played with it. Actually, I've been to the store probably too many times. Don't worry about it. But we still, I still got the experience with the device. 4 gigs of RAM versus 2 gigs of RAM. It's got a Snapdragon 820 processor versus a Snapdragon 801 processor. It has a 12 megapixel camera. This has a 16 megapixel camera. Although that megapixel count doesn't, determine how great the camera is. The S7 actually has a lower aperture, and it also has a bigger pixel size as well as faster focusing. So if you're trying to catch, the Hamburger Man running down the street and you need that fast focusing speed, the S7 is going to give it to you. But 4 gigs of RAM versus 2 gigs of RAM, on a computer, very noticeable. On a phone, I don't know how much so. You may differ in your experience. Now, I know it does add up over time as the Android phones get slower over time if you don't maintain them because of all the cache buildup and stuff in the background. Android phones tend to get slower over time because they require a little maintenance. And this is why people jump to iPhone, because they don't understand how the Android operating system works. And they might be too lazy to go check that out. But that's just my personal opinion. You may differ. That's why they go ahead and buy an iPhone. And I love iPhones too. I'm not hating on iPhones. I got iPhones. Love them. They're great. But they don't need any of that stuff. So 4 gigs of RAM might serve you better than 2 gigs of RAM and might actually never need any maintenance because there's so much RAM on these newer devices. But what they're not going to tell you in stores is that you should keep your Samsung Galaxy S5. You don't really need to do this right now. What they're going to do is try to push you on the sale because they want to make the sale. But essentially, do you need to do it? Is it going to change your life? And the answer is no. The camera on the S5 still shoots in 4K. You can watch a video sample I did on this camera right here. I'll leave that link down below in the description. The Samsung Galaxy S5, although it's not a push-in, still has a fingerprint scanner. The Samsung Galaxy S5, although not IPX68, I don't even know how much better that is than IP67, waterproof. This still can be dunked in water, be in the rain, and be just as waterproof as the S7. And I don't think that 68 is going to be so much different than the 67 in terms of real life use. If you drop your phone in water, the S5 will survive. If you drop your S7 in water, it will survive. Heart rate monitor, same thing you're going to get on the Samsung Galaxy S7. Now the S7, of course, has that metal build. It's beautiful. It's got that nice, design that wraps in your hand. very ergonomic. But the S5 wasn't too bad either, I don't think. You know, some people hated the design, but this design looks worse on camera than it does in real life, believe me, because I own one right here, as you can see. And while this isn't my main phone, just one of them, I do think that the Samsung Galaxy S5 offers enough value for you guys to hold off for a more breakthrough product, something like maybe the S8. Reason being is because Samsung did kind of an Apple move with the Samsung Galaxy S7 to the S8. They basically took the S7 to the S8, the S6 to the S7. They basically took the S6, slightly tweaked it, you know, and made it basically a Galaxy S7s, if you will. So if you got an S6, definitely don't upgrade. But should you upgrade from the S5? And my answer is number one. If you are a person who has to have the latest and greatest thing, or you have this deal that you can't refuse because the marketing people got you, just my opinion, then go ahead and update. Go jump on it. Get the phone right now. You have to have it. Go get it. But if you're somebody who is like, you know what? Should I really go drop $750 on a phone that's gonna still has, you know, quad-core processor, maybe octa-core, still has, you know, high RAM, but my S5 still has high RAM. My S5 camera is amazing. My S5 still has great specs. Maybe not the latest and greatest Android, but eventually Samsung, knowing them, they might push it out. Then you probably shouldn't upgrade to the S7. Would I personally upgrade? And the answer is nah. I would probably see what the Note series is going to do this year, but that's just me because I kind of like the Note more, although I've had pretty much every S-line phone you could think of. And I say all this, and I probably will have a Samsung Galaxy S7 here on the channel too. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you're somebody who has to have the latest and greatest thing, of course, it's an obvious go get it. If you're a person who needs to, or who wants value, I would say hold off and check out all the budget phones that are going to be released this year, all the mid-range market, and that's anywhere from 150-ish all the way up to 400. Now, super budget phones are probably going to be hot this year too, anything from $50 to $150. There's going to be a lot of very great smartphones this year that are not going to cost you an arm and a leg. But yeah, that's pretty much should you upgrade from the Samsung Galaxy S5 to the S7. This is just my take. You may differ, and that's what's beautiful about the world. So go ahead, and if you have opinions about should you upgrade from the S5 to the S7, if it's a no-brainer, whatever your opinion may be, drop it down below in the comments. To me, I look more for the value in the phone versus just the shiny object that I see at the store because they have a big, you know, LED light beaming on a phone, and then when you take it home, it's not shining as much as it did in the store. So yeah, that pretty much wraps this episode up, guys. A little bit different than your typical angles and beautiful marketing and beautiful S7 going into some liquid that we don't even know what that liquid is, but it looks ridiculously awesome. A little bit different than that. But anyways, I will catch you all in the next episode. If you enjoyed this, please go ahead, show me your support by leaving it a like or a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, go ahead and drop a thumbs down. And yeah, subscribe for more everything tech, unboxings, tips, film, tricks, and all kinds of any and everything tech that comes to mind. And go ahead and leave your suggestions for videos because this is everything tech, not one thing tech. And I will catch you all in the next episode. Be well and peace.